What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Pro Shocker, the 96 Hedgehog here with our Week 6 matchup going against the Reggie Rocks. I'm sure it's the Boston Reggie Rocks, not like CK with an X. I hope I got that right. And Coach Joe. First and foremost, before we get into the battle, I will state that Joe does live in the same area as Goldoa, and he actually was using. I'm pretty sure he was using Goldoa's Switch, I want to say, while he was over there, or he brought his Switch over, or he brought, or like, I don't know. Just basically know that you're gonna see Goldoa's name, but we're facing Joe, as Joe is using, I believe, Goldoa's Switch in order to do these games. And just so also to clarify that these are stream games, and Gold stated in the stream that he made sure Joe had headphones, so Joe cannot hear him talk. And 100%, I definitely would say don't accuse Joe of cheating or saying Gold helped him. That's not the case here. I believe Gold and Joe, they're definitely great people, and I know they wouldn't do this, especially with the way Joe's record is. If Gold was helping him, Joe's record would be extremely high up there right now with all of us. So just to clarify that right now, so no one knows. And so no one's going to question in the comment section. But anyways, with that aside, let's break down the team preview here. But before we do that, if you guys are excited, leave a like if you haven't already, subscribe if you are new. Join the Push Rock Crew today because you'll be feeling with the king of the crew. And with that being said, let's break down the team preview. So looking at his team, he did bring Latios, which I was a little surprised to see. I mean, it was still something I could somewhat see him bring. He did bring Drapion, which was something I definitely could see him bring if he was really scared of Sylveon. But he did not bring Dugtrio, which I was definitely surprised by. He didn't bring Rapidash, which I was surprised by, but he brought Noctowl, which was very surprising. I felt like Kangaskhan was such a better matchup versus me. And just to state, these are his, obviously, like I always say, it's his side because, so we can see that he brought Weakness Policy, Assaultus, Expert Rock Heal, Scope Blitz, and Choice Specs. So honestly, these were not, I mean, I was kind of expecting Hitmonchan to be AV this matchup. I was pseudo expecting the Coco to be this way. Also, please respect the fact this man named all his Pokemon after cheese brands. Show some respect for that. I actually didn't pick up on it until his last two Mons. Until the Latios and the Ferrothorn came out. I didn't pick up on it. But as you guys can see, he was not Okaberry, which I was very surprised by it. I'll also get into the idea of how I was surprised by that, because I probably would have gone into it sooner. Knowing that, maybe? Who knows? The Drapion set, definitely didn't see that coming. Choice Specs Noctowl was definitely something I did not expect. Weakness Policy Lottie, definitely not something I expected. I was expecting more like Scarf for Specs. I was expecting more like a, definitely a choice Coco. Excuse me. Sorry if you hear a kitty cat. He is very vocal. He likes to be vocal, very much so. A lot of the time. So looking at the team we brought Tauros, Sylveon, Luxray, Aegislash, Nidoqueen, and the Hydreigon. So I was kind of thinking to myself, what do I want to lead off here? I was kind of thinking, since he doesn't have a ground type, my Luxray is pretty free to be leading off in this matchup here. But also looking at his team, again, I can just strong lead Tauros, because Tauros just matches up against everything really well. I was also maybe thinking Sylveon, because Sylveon doesn't really have a bad lead matchup against everything, but if something like Drapion lead or Ferrothorn lead, I do kind of want to be a little careful. Excuse me there. Throat getting a little dry there. I wanted to be a little careful, obviously. So, after thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and probably lead off with my Luxray here. As we're going to go ahead and just skip a little bit. Oh, skip over here. So, yeah, like I said, he's using Gold's profile picture, but Gold's not helping him. But good lucks and have funs to Joe, is what I said obviously I wasn't recording. And again, I do say this, I will try my best to get recording stuff for this stuff. But anyways, like I said, I decided I was going to lead off with Luxray. I don't think it was really a bad lead option. He actually leads off with the Drapion, which It's a kind of mix of good and bad. Like, it's good because, I mean, I can fire off a free wall charge here and just claim something. But I don't think I want to lose my Flame Orb here because I really think Facade Spam, like, looking at his team, normal spam was just so free in this matchup. So I don't think I wanted it. So I go into my Hydreigon here on technically turn 1 slash turn 2, or turn 1.5, I should say. He goes for the knockoff and gets a crit. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, great, turn 1 crit. But in fairness, I did not know if it was Scope Lens. So, with Sniper, obviously. Which Sniper, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely not a bad ability. I think just Battle Armor is so much safer, in my opinion. But he's going to go, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, what do I do here? I can't really save my Hydreigon, so what I think I'm going to do is I can live any one hit from this Hydreigon, from this Drapion. So I go for the D-Dance and just go for it. I know most likely the Hitmonchan is going to have Mach Punch, but at this point in time, I think it just does not matter, and I can't really let this Drapion just start spamming attacks against me. And plus, I want to start trying to break his team if I can. So I'm just thinking, do I Dragon Dance or just go for the attack? Earthquake won't kill at the range that he is at right now since I don't have my Life Orb. If I have my Life Orb, I straight up kill. But he's going to go for the Cross Poison, which revealed that he was not Choice Banded, because that was another thing. I thought he was Choice Banded at the time with that, but I'm going to go for the Dragon Dance here, and I am just going to click Earthquake, because even if he wants to bring Lottie, if Lottie's not Scarfed, I outspeed, and I can just fire off I can just go for an Outrage. Plus, it covers a potential Coco switch in if he tries to go for that as well. So I'm going to just click Earthquake here, and even without my Life Orb at +1, this is going to be enough to knock out the Drapion, as I did not get a crit. But Drapion goes down, which that opened up the door for Sylveon. That honestly really opened up the door for Sylveon. Because Sylveon now just puts in so much work now with having one less check to it. Like, yeah, even if it's got Assault Vested Hitmonchan just gets 2-code, and plus if I chip it down in range of Hyper Voice, it just straight up dies. So, nothing much to do. So, he actually revealed that have here only Mach Punch. To my surprise, when looking back at the stream, I was actually surprised to see Mach Punch was his only fighting type move. It was very interesting to see. I did see him have Rapid Spin there, which I figured he would have, just because Toxic Spikes would be a little annoying and with his team, probably. If he didn't have a safety return. And also, sorry if you hear a meowing. That is from a kitty cat that is named Ginger and does not leave me alone. But right now, I'm going to go into my King Eevee, aka Sylveon here, and I just fire off a Hyper Voice. It's completely free. If he wants to save it, he saves it. And if he goes into Cheetah, the Ferrothorn, I just fire off a Mystical Fire on the next turn and just kill. So he actually decides to stay in here and reveals he has the Earthquake. So this was definitely a mon I could have said I had brought in my Aegislash and clicked an attack. Could get my weakness policy to start breaking, but I definitely didn't think it was worth it at that time. So right here I do make a bit of a misplay, I feel like, with my Sylveon, which I'm definitely now, I didn't think I even recognized it when I looked back at the match the first time, because I actually do like watching back these battles on the Twitch stream, because it's just, it's kind of fun, it's kind of cool just to watch back and see, maybe I did something wrong, I can fix that, to fix it up for next time. So, I actually decided to, first off, he's going to just basically give me Hitmonchan, or just have Hitmonchan stay in here. I click Hyper Voice. Now, if you guys saw the team builder, I went with the Protect Wish set. I actually should have clicked Wish here, and I get an unnecessary crit, so it doesn't make it even for the match. But I should have clicked Wish here, and then revealed Protect. He might have made the swap out, though, if I went for the Wish, which, I mean, in fairness, maybe that would have been better for me to keep the Hitmonchan around, just because Hitmonchan would have been no problem. Plus, I would have been more healthier for a lot of his things on his team, so definitely not going Wish there. Was definitely a bit of a misplay there with my Sylveon. So now thinking of what he's going to bring in here, he actually brings in Machengo, which I didn't even know this was a cheese brand. So, he brings in Tapu Koko here, and now I'm thinking right here, I've decided, I want to try to keep this Sylveon around a little bit, so I'm going to click Protect, just to get a little bit of leftovers recovery and just kind of scout what this thing's going to do. Is he going to U-turn, electric move me? He reveals Iron Head, and that tells me that he is physical or he is mixed. And I was thinking to myself, what can I do now? I'm relatively a quarter of the way healthy. I can kind of keep this around potentially for a sack. I could potentially get a wish off here. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's either going to click U-turn or he's going to click Iron Head here again. Because I know he doesn't click, he's not bringing Volt Switch. So I'm thinking to myself, if I wish here, I die. If I don't wish here and switch out or click or go for the double, protect, then I can. But if I just also make the safest swap possible, I know I'm also in the safest position right here for myself. So I'm trying to think right here, what's the smartest play, and what is also the smartest thing to bring in. I actually go ahead and decide to, I believe, bring in my Nidoqueen here, which, in all honesty, knowing that he was, I mean, I could have brought an Aegislash right here, predicting the U-turn, but as you can see, Iron Head, it does actually not as much as he would probably hope for my Nidoqueen. You can see he's going to click U-turn. I think he was clicking U-turn on Iron Head again, so I was thinking to myself, you know, what's the play he's going to make? Because he revealed that he's not choice. Because right now I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's potentially choice in some fashion. So I'm going to make the double out into my Aegislash here, which is a bit of a, I guess, a safe middle ground play right here. Just because I know that this thing is going to U-turn, and with me switching out, I think that was definitely safe to assume that I was not Scarf. So that was definitely a bit of a misplay on my end too. Like, it also would have just depended what he brought in. I think most likely he would have brought in the Latios at that point in time. So he does bring in the Noctowl here, which is choice Specs. I actually was not thinking it was Specs the whole time. So, and honestly, I was debating on staying in here, knowing that Hurricane basically didn't do any damage to me. So I was thinking to myself, you know what? Let's just stay in. But then I was thinking to myself, I could use Sylveon as potentially a sack. Sylveon, if this thing is just pseudo-offensive, doesn't really touch my Sylveon. I can protect and then get a Wish up next turn and be able to do as much more damage as I can against his team. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, what do I do? What do I do? Do I do what I want to do, or do I just go against my better judgment and stay in here? And that type of thing. So after really kind of thinking out the play, again, I'm not assuming he's Specs or anything, I'm just assuming he's probably heavy-duty boots. So I'm going to swap out into my Eevee here, and he is actually going to reveal the Heat Wave, which I completely forgot Noctowl got Heat Wave. And I'm looking at the damage, and I definitely make a big misplay right here. I do not calc for Specs, unless I do now, or something like that, I don't remember. So I believe I was calcing for Specs potentially. So what I decided to do is just go for the Wish right here. Not even thinking he was Specs. I should have clicked Protect right here just to scout. Because if he clicked Heat Wave again, then I figured that maybe he is somewhat Choice Locked, and I could play around his Choice Lock a little bit. Potentially. But me not being a smart man didn't do that. And he actually misses the Heat Wave. 10% chance. And I know how that feels, man. My Tornadus missing that Heat Wave on a Mega Scizor, which that was so dumb. That really sucked. Because now I got a free Wish here, and now what this lets me do is it lets me freely click Protect here. But what I'm actually going to make is a pretty ballsy play. Like, because I know I'm clicking Protect, he knows that, and he thinks, okay, you know, it's the perfect opportunity to bring back in one of my Mons, like Coco, or something like that. So I'm thinking to myself, you know what? He could predict me to Protect here, and I could take a big gamble. And this gamble could cost me my Sylveon if I'm not careful. So I actually go for the Hyper Voice, but he makes the switch out on the Protect as I get the Hyper Voice off, and that is massively huge. I believe it was, I think it was a roll to kill the Coco. If not, it was definitely going to do about 80 to 90% to the Coco. I think he lived, I don't know. But now I have my Wish, and I was actually calculating for Expert Belt on a Jolly set. And if he's Jolly with Expert Belt, even with an Iron Head, I'm actually going to guarantee live this hit. So I'm just going to go for the Hyper Voice here. As you can see, he goes for the Nature's Madness. I guess he was predicting me to bring back Aegislash, maybe my Nidoqueen. Because I think if Nidoqueen gets chipped, Nidoqueen's just about in range of Iron Head. Because Nidoqueen's at roughly that health. And depending on an Iron Head roll, and also depending if it was Jolly or Adamant, Iron Head was probably a roll to kill my Nidoqueen after Nature's Madness here. But as you can see, he goes for the Nature's Madness, does not miss, which is a stupid move that should not miss, in my opinion. He goes for Nature's Madness. I'm going to go for the straight up Hyper Voice here, get my KO on this thing. And Coco being gone is massive, which means now the speed control looks to be a little bit in my favor now, which is really, really, really good here now. So that's really good here. So now it's 3v5. I've definitely got an advantage here because of definitely some luck right here. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, what do I do here now? I have to think about what I have to do here. So he's going to actually bring back the Knock Towel. So a little bit of my surprise. Looking at the damage I was at, I think I started calcing specs at this point. Hurricane, I believe, was a roll to kill me at this range. I do believe Hurricane was a roll to kill me at the range I was at. But he has to click Hurricane, and he has to land. He goes for the Hurricane, and he misses, which is massive, because now I get a Wish off, and now with also my Leftovers recovery, I'm guaranteed out of range. And this was the first time I actually was doing calcs with the HP instead of the percentages and stuff like that. So I was really proud of myself for how I was calcing, because with that calc, I knew I lived the hit. I go for the Hyper Voice here, as he does go for Hurricane, does connect, and if he gets the confusion, it's Justice. Doesn't get the confusion, I go for the Hyper Voice here, connect. It's going to do it just about 50%, which wasn't doing exactly what it is. Now I'm back to full health. I'm basically out of range again of a Hurricane right now. And I believe at this point in time, I click Protect. And the reason I click Protect was just because of the fact that I wanted to keep this thing as relatively healthy as possible, waste one of his Hurricane turns, and go from there. Although I believe I went on the offense here. I think it was either Protect or I clicked Hyper Voice here. He's definitely forced in a position where he has to just attack. He can't just make switches or something like that, predicting these and everything like that. So yes, I do click Protect. It's a little bit. I literally watched this battle like yesterday, so I was trying to think of myself. So he does click Hurricane, and I wasn't trying to stall the timer, by the way. I'm just saying that right now. I wasn't trying to stall. I simply was making sure I was as healthy as I possibly can be for the rest of the battle, and also if I could try to get another wish off here. But I was kind of looking back at my team right now. I kind of can just beat about everything else on his team, essentially. So what I decided to do here is I just go for the go for the Hyper Voice here. He goes for Hurricane, and he misses again. And that is just really unfortunate. His Hyper Voice comes off, and it's going to be enough to kill this. And Sylveon getting its third KO this matchup. Sylvia put in a lot more work than I was expecting to do, in all honesty. So now we're in a bit of a predicament here. So now he's obviously going to have no choice, but he has to go to Ferroform, in my opinion. Ferroform is his only realistic way to kind of try to somewhat come back in this matchup here. But as you can see, his Ferroform does not have a Steel-type move. It doesn't even have Stab. All it has is Leech Seed for Stab. It brings Latios, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I'm just literally going to click Hyper Voice here. I don't lose anything, and this thing just drops unless it's Roselli Berry, which probably in his hindsight he should have been Roselli Berry, but he goes with the agility here, so I'm thinking to myself, oh shoot, he's weakness policy. Like legitimately, I was thinking maybe he's like weakness policy, but I go for the Hyper Voice, and because Sylveon is just such a good Pokemon, it gets the KO. I don't know how bulky his Lati was, but I would assume maybe it was potentially roll, but I don't know if the roll was in my favor or not to kill. But Sylveon basically gets another KO, and at this point in time, I'm just going to go ahead and just stay with Sylveon, just sack Sylveon. There was no reason for me not to just sack it in front of Shanna. I love that name. For Variable. But as you can see, he did not have a stab move on, so he could not beat my Sylveon 1v1. I'm just going to fire up a Mystic Fire. I think it could have been a roll to kill, which I don't think it was a roll to kill, maybe, I don't know. But he goes for the Leech Seed here. I would have felt real bad if he missed that. That would have definitely been hurt right there. But, yeah, Sylveon, and I was tempted to go for the Hyper Voice here. I was very tempted, because it definitely looked like it was a roll for Hyper Voice to kill. Because Hyper Voice was doing around 20-something%, and he was definitely around 20%, I would say. But I felt like, you know what, I just want to go for the safe win and redeemed the 5-0 loss I got against Gold in Week 5, which was pretty ironic that 5-0 in Week 5. I get the reverse 5-0 victory in Week 6, and with that, your Iowa Jolteons pick up a really big victory here against Joe and the Boston Reggie Rocks. And I'm not gonna lie, we did get a little lucky. I think the end result could have been different in terms of differential. I think depending on situations, like if a Hurricane lands after the wish, like even if because you saw I went for the Hyper Voice, right? He only would have had Latios, and he only would have had Ferroform back in the end there. At that point in time, and I would have won with H/Slash because I get my weakness policy pop, and I basically just start attacking. Because like what I would have done is I would have Ironhead in that, and then I would have CC'd into the Ferroform, which would have killed Terraform. I think I would have won and got the last 2 kills with Aegislash. And even if Aegislash, comes back and lives the hit from, like say I hit the damage, he knocks me out. I go into my Aegislash, and I literally just click. I probably click Ironhead most likely, unless he brings in the Ferroform. If I make the prediction of the Ferroform, then basically that drops. He wouldn't bring Ladio. I know he would go into the Ferroform, and then what I would do is I would have Iron Defense. He procs my weakness policy. I go ahead and click Close Combat again freely, and then I just Shadow Sneak his team, and then just click Close Combat again. Sacking that in front of Noctowl. Noctowl is alive, but then Tauros comes in. Tauros wins the game. If the Heat Wave landed on the Sylveon, he could have had a good chance to win the match there, 100%, because I would have had to get unlucky, and that time in terms, he definitely had a little bit of speed on his Noctowl for sure. So there could have been, I could have still lost the match if it turned out the Heat Wave miss there. But if we're looking at the Heat Wave miss and then the Hurricane on the 5 HP EV, and I got the Confusion kill after, and I lived and he chipped him down, and then he lands the Hurricane. And depending on like just a lot of situations, I think we still would have won the game, but there could have still been a good chance I would have lost. So definitely wouldn't count it out, Joe, from that point on. But we end up walking away with a 5-0 victory, which was massive for us, as right now we are number 4 in the standings of the 6 coaches in our division. Top 3 from each division will be making the playoffs. So definitely big scary right there. But with this victory, it definitely shot us back up to potentially 2nd or 3rd place in the standings right now, with a big differential win right there. So we definitely are almost there. We are 4-2. We need to get at least 2 more victories to guarantee a spot in playoffs. 1 more is a 50-50 chance based on differential, but overall, you never know. So I'm definitely going to try my best. I would love to make playoffs in my first Wi-Fi league that I have joined, and would love to do so very much, not counting, doubles and VGC, which I've done twice already. So, yeah. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you haven't already. Hit the like button and subscribe. Show some love for the Sylveon. Definitely one of the best draft league evolutions out there. Second up, maybe. I don't know. Well, not second, but you know what I mean. But overall, great game. Had some really good fun, and back on that winning streak right there, baby. We're definitely going to carry this momentum going to my next week match. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.